Why Jotaro vs Alucard is not close. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something epic lined up. Forget the usual matchups. We're throwing Jotaro into the ring with none other than Alucard from Hellsing. Stand user versus vampire. Sounds familiar? Forget Dio. On one side we have Alucard, the most potent weapon in the Hellsing organization, dedicated to combating vampires and supernatural forces. Alucard transcends the typical vampire archetype, possibly being the most powerful vampire alive, as well as the strongest character in the series, rivaled only by Alexander Anderson. Now let's shift our focus to Jotaro, a delinquent living an ordinary life until the return of Dio, an old enemy of the Joestar family. His journey takes him to Egypt, driven by the mission to save his mother and put an end to the vampire threat once and for all. Jotaro brings to the table the formidable stand Star Platinum, one of the most potent stands in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series. As the first JoJo introduced with a stand, who's gonna win? Jotaro's precise stand abilities or Alucard's unparalleled supernatural might? Can Jotaro's Star Platinum firm against Alucard's unmatched power? Let's take a look at some stats. Strength. Jotaro himself is quite strong without a stand, possessing the ability to send someone flying with a single punch. Now, with his stand Star Platinum, he's shown to have the ability to punch through material harder than diamond and bend steel bars with ease. Speed. Jotaro alone is quick for his size and weight, but it's just about average speed of an athletic man. Counting his stand, who can quickly come to the conclusion that it has subsonic speed, as it was able to catch and dodge a speeding bullet at point-blank range. In addition to this, Jotaro has survived being set on fire, pummeled by enemies, including the world, and even survived knives being thrown into his body. He continued to fight despite Dio crushing almost all of his bones. Jotaro has an average range of about half a meter standing still. Now Star Platinum has a range of 2 meters from Jotaro's position, boasting superhuman senses, stamina, accuracy, and speed. It falls into the category of physically powerful, or more simply, close-range stands. What sets Star Platinum apart is its resemblance to Dio's The World. Just like its vampiric counterpart, Star Platinum can tap into the time-stopping game, and Jotaro pulls the ace from his sleeve right after the end of his showdown with Dio. The stand's name draws inspiration from the Star Tarot card, which carries the powerful symbolism of hope above all else. Fast forward to Stone Ocean and we encounter the evolved version of Star Platinum. This marks the pinnacle of Jotaro's stand development. The world takes it up a notch, granting Jotaro the ability to halt time for a solid 5 seconds. While there's potential for a longer freeze, it's noted that 5 seconds is the human endurance limit under the time-stopping effect. In essence, Star Platinum showcases Jotaro's ultimate stand evolution. Packing a punch with its range of abilities, Jotaro's innate sense of battle strategy and his adaptive thinking make him a master in wielding his stand, and its inherent power only amplifies his proficiency. In its most straightforward application, Star Platinum can smash through nearly any obstacle Jotaro faces. However, Jotaro showcases his imaginative side by exploring various uses of its physical might, like stretching Star Platinum's limbs for extended reach, or employing its lungs to counteract threats like justice. Jotaro doesn't just rely on Star Platinum's brute force, he strategically exploits its superhuman attributes to enhance his own capabilities. Using the stand's enhanced eyesight, he can spot distant objects, and like other stand users, he can shield himself from attacks by deploying Star Platinum as a defensive barrier. In a pinch, he often channels his stand from within his body, tapping into its strength to propel himself into the air. This aerial maneuver becomes a key tactic in Jotaro's ultimate showdown against Dio. There is a moment where he appears to float in the air. In the same fight, whether it's an exaggerated version of his jumping technique or an actual ability to fly remains unclear. Although Jotaro possesses the ability to stop time, he exercises his power with restraint, primarily using it for defensive purposes. He seizes the extra moments to protect allies or evade incoming attacks. Occasionally he stops time for offense, but sparingly, due to its limited duration. Alucard stands as a formidable and deadly opponent, capable of dispatching supernatural enemies without unleashing the seals containing his true power. He often lets adversaries inflict damage on him, only to regenerate swiftly, using it as a taunting strategy. Alucard's diverse abilities include supernatural strength, allowing him to effortlessly handle weapons, like Jacko and Castle. His otherworldly speed and reflexes surpass the human eye's capability to track, and his durability is extraordinary, enabling him to withstand attacks silently before retaliating with force. As a vampire, Alucard possesses hematophagy, which is the ability to consume blood raw, and estivation, entering a dormant state if deprived of blood for an extended period. Furthermore, he has hemokinesis, manipulating blood outside the body, and soul absorption, gaining dominance over souls and their forms by draining blood. Alucard can control familiars and release them at will, demonstrating immense power during the Battle of London. His enhanced regeneration allows him to recover quickly from any physical injury, even surviving attacks from holy weaponry designed to kill vampires. Alucard's unique sensory abilities include a third eye that grants him sharp senses and perfect accuracy, along with the capacity to see supernatural activity. His composition involves a variable otherworldly substance that serves as both his being and a weapon. Alucard can turn intangible, walk through solid objects, shapeshift into various forms, and communicate telepathically. His fledgling additional abilities like teleportation, telekinesis, hypnosis, and gravity defiance further contribute to his overwhelming skill set. Biologically immortal, Alucard is immune to disease and aging, recovering from injuries to extreme degrees. His immortality is linked to the countless lives he has consumed over the years. For each time someone manages to kill him, Alucard reconstructs his body using the countless souls at his disposal. Despite his seemingly invincible nature, the vulnerability lies in impaling his heart, especially in his level 0 state, when the lives within him are separated, rendering him completely susceptible to death. Being too powerful to be left on his own, his power is restricted by the Control Art restriction system, and has to be accessed by the Cromwell invocation. There are shown to be 6 levels of restriction, and 4 corresponding states, with lower numbers, meaning greater levels of power. Alucard can release his power up to level 1 by himself, but he needs his master's approval to release his final state, level 0, allowing him full access to his most devastating abilities. Alucard's gloves are visible in the vast majority of his transformations, even when Alucard himself is not in his humanoid form. The varying forms of his are distinguished primarily by their preferred methods of combat. When in the guise of a young girl, he wields a Tommy gun. In his normal form, he uses 2 pistols. Transitioning to its level 1 form, Alucard utilizes his hand and shadows for combat, and in his count form, he favors a broadsword. These release states only signify Alucard's increasing power, but also impact both his appearance and fighting techniques. Up to level 1, Alucard generally maintains his usual form, resembling Count Dracula, and predominantly uses guns, his bare hands coming to play mainly against human targets, or to conclude confrontations with vampire adversaries, often through impalement. There has been a lot of talk about Dio versus Alucard, but for Jotaro it's a different story. Jotaro can only stop time for 5 seconds. Additionally, he has a huge problem of being a normal human being. Jotaro would have to kill Alucard millions of times, while the vampire would only need 1 bullet to Jotaro's head to end the battle, or lift the opponent with telekinesis and slam him hard to the ground. Star Platinum has no way of stopping an opponent like this. Sure, Jotaro's 10 can catch Alucard off guard once or twice, but he has nothing to stop Alucard permanently. The only thing that honestly seemed to work was Elena's nail, one of the nails that pierced the flesh of Jesus Christ and bound him to the crucifix. Jotaro can't compete with that. If Star Platinum froze time, could Alucard continue to think? If so, then the ability of his stand isn't so much as freezing, as it is removing himself from the current time and reinserting himself at will, but nothing of that is ever stated. So if Jotaro freezes time, Alucard would stop existing. It would continue like this forever, and Jotaro would be forced to fight him without using his particular ability. Without it, he loses. And that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Who wins this battle, Alucard or Jotaro? Leave it in the comments down below. That being said, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.